Welcome to Laguna Creek Real Estate's Kings Talk, brought to you by Laguna Creek Real Estate. Go to LagunaCreek.com for all your real estate needs. Kings Talk is also presented by True Chat Inc., Dr. Paul Shaner, Bada Bing Pizzeria, and Whitaker's Pharmacy. Now, here's the voice of the Kings, Lucas Moore.
Hello. Big welcome into Kings Talk, June 13th, 2016. It's been a beautiful couple of weeks. The sun's been shining, and but not been a beautiful couple of weeks for the Champion City Kings. But what we got on the show today, we got Horton Hobbs interviewing in the middle to talk about the impact of the Champion City Kings on the city of Springfield, along with a couple other things. And Prospect League recap, preview, everything, normal show basically. And we'll try to move you through it. But first, we want to talk about this past week for the Champion City Kings. 6 games, not pretty. 1-5 went the Champion City Kings. It was a 4-game homestand and then 2 games on the road at West Virginia. And they lost every game in the homestand. 3-2, 3-0, 2-0, 11-2. The one stretch in the middle, 20 straight innings, the Champion City Kings went without scoring a run. And I like to be positive on this show, but that brings the record to 5-11. You go 1-5 in a 6-game period. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not good. Not good. 20 straight innings without a run. You scored 4 total runs on the homestand. 4 total runs on the homestand. Kings aren't hitting the ball right now. They are last in the Prospect League in batting average by almost 15 points. 214 is their batting average. The next team up is DuPage at 239. And then 244, 244, 254, 262. So not only are they in last, they have the largest gap of any other team between the team in front of them. So they aren't going to make that gap anytime soon. They also have the worst on-base percentage by almost 16 points. They have a 300 on-base percentage. And they have the worst slugging percentage by 7 points at 282. And I'm looking at these stats in front of me. And it's just not pretty at all. Not pretty at all. 119 strikeouts, that's not first, but it's up there in the league lead. They're the worst hitting team in the Prospect League. There's no other way I can read these stats and report to you guys anything else other than they are the worst hitting team in the Prospect League. We try to stay positive on the show, but there's no positive way to spin this. They are the worst hitting team through 16 games in the Prospect League. And unless things start to change, they will not win ball games. They will not win ball games unless things start to change. Their pitching's fine. They have a 3.83 ERA, right about in the middle of the pack in the league. They've got some solid starters. Their whip's right in the middle of the pack. But you're never going to win ball games if your pitching's only middle of the pack and your hitting is last. You're never going to win ball games that way. Never. Now, if they can improve their pitching just a little, make their hitting average, then you might have some ball games. You might be able to get on a run. You might be able to win a few close games. But as of right now, I'm looking at these stats. It's embarrassing right now for these guys thus far. And they're a talented group. But just nobody's hitting right now. Nobody's hitting. Jeff Swetland is the best hitter on the team, 321 batting average. Goodrich at 283. Then after that, Sean Kennedy, 278. Deneen, 261. Gage Taylor, new, 261. Then you were down in 250s, 231s. Dante Key, just some roster updates. Dante Key is no longer on the roster. Isaiah Lewis is no longer on the roster. Dante Key had a 281 batting average. Believe he picked up an injury. Isaiah Lewis at a 0.34 was just not producing well, 1 for 29. And those were 2 guys that were supposed to really command the outfield. The Kings were supposed to have a strong outfield. Just didn't happen. Pitchers that are gone. Derek Schmidt gone. Brogan Fisher gone. Nick McClendon gone. Schmidt, 2 games, 1 in the third innings, didn't give up any runs. Brogan Fisher, 2.07 ERA. Nick McClendon, 4.15. Those are the guys that are gone pitcher-wise. But this team's just not hitting the ball. Let me pull this up. Hold on. In the last 7 days for the Kings at the plate, their last 7 days, they've scored 9 runs in 7 days. They're batting .206 as a team. That's embarrassing. So I was hoping for an upward swing. They're improving, they get better. They just stopped hitting the ball. 20 straight innings during a homestand in front of the home crowd. 20 straight innings without scoring a run. Simply unacceptable. Simply unacceptable if you want to win ball games. And now you're 5-11. You lost to Butler, Springfield twice, Butler again. They did pick up a win against West Virginia on Saturday, and then they lost by 3 runs. But in the 6-game stretch, they only scored 7 runs. You can't win ball games that way. The pitching most runs pitching gave up on that homestand was 11 runs. And that was just, they walked in like an unbelievable amount of runs. And that game was just all bad, like an accumulation. And they bounced back and won a game. But the pitching was good enough to win ball games. 3 runs given up, 3 runs given up, 2 runs given up, 2 runs given up, 4 runs given up. Every time that pitching is good enough to win ball games. Pitching has its lapses, gives up those 10, 13, 11 run games. But the pitching's there. The hitting just needs to come around. Hitting, they can't hit. Can't hit. If you cannot hit, you cannot win. But here's the amazing part. As we move into the Prospect League standings updates. Kings are only 4.5 games back, with 14 games left in the first half. That's still somehow in range. If they can turn around quick. My prediction, they won't. They need to get better and look at the second half for a potential playoff push. But they have 14 games because how the Prospect League works, split into 2 halves. The winner of each half in each division makes the playoffs. Kings are 4.5 back in this first half. They have 14 games left to go in this half. Can they pull it out? It'll take a miracle. They're going to probably have to win 10 or 11 out of the next 14 games to have a shot. But nobody's running away with it in these. Butler's on top at 10-7. Kokomo's second, 9-7. West Virginia at 8-8. Chillicothe at 6-9. Chillicothe's won 3 straight games. Chillicothe, they have a lot of guys that were still in tournament play, still at the regionals. They moved in. Chillicothe got their players in. Now they're winning ball games. 3 straight wins. Better watch out for the Paints. They're coming on hot, only 3 games back. Lafayette at 6-9 and Champion City at 5-11. That's the East Division. Out in the West, Springfield Sliders at 9-5. Quincy Gems at 10-6. Danville Dans at 9-6. Terre Haute, the defending champs, at 9-7. DuPage Drones at 6-8. Hannibal Cavemen at 6-10. Danville's won 3 straight games. They're coming on strong. Quincy's fallen off a little bit since the last show. 2 losses, 5-5 in their last 10. Springfield playing really well. 7-3 in their last 10. League leaders in the Prospect League. Andrew Curran. Danville. 5.26 batting average and 38 at-bats. That's really good. Will Schneider. 5'11 and 47 at-bats. 6 RBIs. Joseph Colazzo. 4'10, 5 RBIs. Matt Fortin from Danville. Riley Benner from Lafayette, still doing good. 383 batting average. Now an update on the pitching leaders. Andrew McDonald gave up 3 runs yesterday on Sunday. Still ended up with a quality start. But he gave up some runs for the first time. But he's still 20 innings pitched. Only 3 runs given up. And that's really good. But right now, Brock Imke, who pitched against the Champion City Kings on the homestand, 2-0 record, 12 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. Ryan Gaines out of Danville doing well as well. Michael Hudak out of Chillicothe doing well. Chillicothe's always had good pitching, and it looks like they have it again this year. Because right now, the best hitting team in the league is Butler, 283 batting average, followed by Danville, then West Virginia, then Lafayette, then Springfield, Terre Haute, Quincy, Hannibal, Chillicothe, Kokomo, DuPage, Champion City. Pitching-wise, best pitching team in the league is Danville. They're starting to win some games, followed by Kokomo, DuPage, Chillicothe. Champion City right in the middle there. That's the Prospect League update. I mean, really, both divisions are tight. It's really anybody's shot at this point. In the West, I would count out Hannibal. 4-6 in their last 10. But again, only 4 games back. I wouldn't bet on Champion City making the playoffs in this first half. And that's being honest. But they definitely can. Only being 4.5 out, there's still some positive things to look at. And the way the pitching performed this past week is a positive to look at. But the way the Kings are hitting right now, they're not going to win any ball games in the near future. So they have to turn that around. But the games have still been fun. A lot of people have been coming out. A lot of people have been cheering. And I had a chance to talk with Horton Hobbs from the Chamber of Commerce about that. And should be a good interview. Hope you enjoy it. On the opposite end of this break, Kings are 5-11, and we'll be right back. Laguna Creek Real Estate is a local company committed to the foundations of experience, teamwork, and excellence. Laguna Creek has realtors that know the area because they live in the area, and they're waiting to help you. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, call 937-342-9995 or visit lagundacreek.com. Charlene and Donovan and their great team of realtors can't wait to help.
This pizza is great.
I know, Bada Bing always hits the spot, and this craft beer just seals the deal.
How do I order more?
Well, you can come to the store on Fountain Avenue downtown or call 937-390-1300, and if you mention that you heard about them on King's Talk, they'll give you some of their delicious garlic knots for free.
Wow, looks like I'll be spending a big part of the summer at Bada Bing Pizzeria.
Bada Bing Pizzeria, the best beer in Ohio and the greatest pizza on the planet. Dr. Paul Shaner has had 44 years of dental experience and has been a role model for the community of Springfield since 1972, serving the dental needs of all ages, from grandparents to grandchildren. Call 937-390-8740 or visit the office at 251 Hampton Place, just off North Limestone. And from Dr. Shaner himself, go Kings! True Chat is a media podcast network powered by real Americans with honest opinions on a mission to create responsible media. Our content is free, available anytime and anywhere through the True Chat app. True Chat is redefining what media can and should be. Listen to daily shows on sports and politics and weekly shows on life, entertainment, business, and culture. We won't join the media elite because we're setting a new standard, a higher standard, the True Chat standard. Take a listen. Whitaker Pharmacy has been serving the Springfield community for over 105 years. With 3 convenient locations on East Main Street, Lagunda Avenue, and South Limestone Street, your prescription needs are a short drive away. Whitaker also offers $3.95 prescription plans, free home delivery, and loyalty rewards and gift cards. So stop in store or check them out online at whitrx.com. Whitaker Pharmacy, the service and convenience you deserve. And a big welcome back to King's Talk, here with Horton Hobbs, the Vice President of Economic Development at the Chamber of Greater Springfield. Not directly related with the Kings. Team's not doing well so well right now. You've gone to almost every game in the first 2 seasons. But team's not doing so well right now. So let's talk about the team for a second. Just your opinions on what you've seen this year.
Yeah, I mean, the team, it really doesn't matter much about whether or not we win or lose. Sure, you want to root for a winner. You want to root for a team that's playing well, and they have played fairly well. They're just not getting all the calls going their way, and they're not making all the plays that it's necessary to win the ball game. But really, that's not why our family goes to watch the Kings games, and I really don't think it's why a lot of families that go on a regular basis go to watch the Kings. The Kings are more than just a baseball team. I mean, it's entertainment for our community. We go because we like to interact with the ball players. We like to enjoy watching baseball, but more than that, we meet people that are families of the players. We get to interact with them. And it's really cool to see people outside of work in our community on a daily basis that we work with, that we get to see from an entertainment perspective with their families. So the Kings are it'd be great if they won, and someday they will, and maybe yet this year they will. But that's not what motivates us to go.
Well, you said to interact with the ball players, and I know you've done a lot of interaction with the ball players, and that's a huge part of this prospect league. Just talking about the players in general, when they feel a family experience, it makes them like the prospect league better, makes them like the Champion City Kings. We've got a lot of players returning from last year. So just how big for you is that to make these kids feel like they're at home when they're playing for the Champion City Kings?
Well, it's everything. I mean, I think you got to think about, these are kids that are away during the school year, and then they have an opportunity to go home with their families, and many of them forego that opportunity and come and stay in our community to play baseball. And so we have host families that have reached out, and that's grown each year to host them. But when you go to the ballpark every night, like our family does, you kind of bond with those. They become almost a second family, it feels like. And so I know for our family, we've tried to do everything we can to welcome the teams each year with open arms, whether it be picking your favorite players, because everybody does that, to building long-lasting relationships. I mean, I think everybody remembers Chris Perkovich. Perk was involved with the Kings really from day one until this year, and we still have a really great relationship. We text a lot, we talk a lot. That's what this league of baseball is all about. Some of these guys may make it to the big leagues, but really this summertime that they have, whether it's here or in another community, it's really about the relationships they build with their friends that they gain while they're playing, but also the communities. And I think it's our responsibility as a community to host the team with open arms and provide any opportunities we can. Because, obviously these guys, they have a lot of downtime too. Yeah, they're traveling, they're playing ball, but they're either sitting with host families or in some cases they're at home. So if you can provide some extra opportunities for them to get involved with the community, it makes them a more rounded group. So yeah, we've embraced it fully.
You mentioned the exit of Chris Perkovich. That comes along with a lot of turnover, a lot of change for this team. More change than at any time since the inaugural season when the team was completely new. New colors, new ownership group, new field manager, everything. So I just wanted
new announcer.
Yeah. Well, there was your thoughts on the changes this year, like the ownership group, the manager, just your general thoughts on all the changes the Kings have gone through this season.
Yeah, well, I mean, there have been a lot. As a fan and somebody who invested in jerseys and logos and all that stuff, that's kind of sticker shock when you got to buy all new stuff. But in all seriousness, change is good. I'm not one of those kinds of people that looks at change as a bad thing. I think in the instance, the evolution of the organization is 3 years old. It's not very old, and we had a recent change in ownership. And I think actually, Ron Heineman and his investment group was a good start for our team, provided the necessary capital to get the team going, but really didn't have that local ownership that I think ultimately day in and day out you look for. And so recently this year there's a new ownership group, all local people to do that. And I think with that there's an excitement, renewed excitement. Maybe you don't see that necessarily in the stands, but you see it in the back office, and you see it in the way those owners have kind of rolled up their sleeves and been a part of it. So there's optimism that comes with new ownership. There's optimism that comes even with this season. I know we've already talked a little bit about the struggles they're off to this year, but they're 1/3 of the way through the season. They still got 2/3 of the season to go, and there's a lot of opportunity for them to get better. But I think anytime there's change, some will look at it as a concern. I look at it as a great opportunity. When the Kings first came to town, or when there was a group working to get them to town, there was no question that it would be a success. I don't think anybody ever really thought about whether the team would be successful or not. And if we are looking at wins and losses in changes in ownership as the success metrics, then, we might get hung up on the wrong thing. I think what you have seen are bigger crowds this year. I think you're seeing more engagement with the fans to the team on any given year or any given game. I think you're seeing more engagement with the sponsors. There have been great improvements to the park, new covered areas for larger parties. There's hopefully. Yeah, absolutely. So, and it's available for just about any event. So there's a lot of new things that have come with a revival and ownership. The one steady has been Rick White. He's a hometown guy, great professional ball player. Now he's brought that expertise to town and to his local team here. And I think, in all fairness, Rick's running a baseball team and the back office too. So there are great opportunities with that and challenges too. So these are growing pains I think you would expect with any new ball club.
And I think that's the thing I want to preach to most people is patience. I mean, last year attendance was down on average, I think 50, but then you have to remember there was 4, 5, 6 rainouts.
Sure.
Only 3 years into an organization, 3 years into any business, it's not going to be a booming success. And I think everybody around the organization, watching the organization, needs to remember that as well. It takes time to build a successful business, and that's the same in baseball as it is in a grocery store, in a bank. It takes time to build strong business. At year 3, I think they're going at a good clip. The team being successful would help, obviously, but I just think it's a great atmosphere around the ballpark.
It is. I think, to add to that, one of the things that, again, success can't always be defined by wins and losses, but I also think we struggle at times as a community to kind of get our arms around the fact that we have this here. Attendance is down not because the team's not doing well. Attendance is down because, quite honestly, most people still don't even realize we have the Champion City Kings in town playing. And I would challenge any of the listeners out there to come, and if you haven't, and you follow the team just on the internet through the podcast, which is a great addition, by the way, come to the ballpark. It's inexpensive, family fun, great food, drinks. The atmosphere is fantastic. The atmosphere only gets better with more people. I hear a lot of people say, well, there's nothing to do in Springfield. I hear a lot of people, frankly, and my daughter's age in 7th grade and junior in high school, there's not a lot to do here in Springfield. Well, I beg to differ. There's a lot that goes on in our town. I think the only challenge we have right now is we're heading into the Summer Arts Festival. So people have got to balance going to the Summer Arts Festival and going to the Kings games. And you can do it. We do it. But again, I would encourage anybody who's not been to a game to get out there because you don't know what you're missing.
But down at the Chamber of Greater Springfield, you're the Vice President of Economic Development. Just how has the Kings impacted the economy? This is a question for me. Has it been a positive impact? Has there been more businesses? Have there been more draws? Has that area around there built? What has been the economic impact of the Champion City Kings? Has it been neutral? Has it been positive? Has it been negative? Well, what have the Kings done for that area of Springfield and Springfield in general?
Well, Lukas, I think it's a great question. The problem in answering it is there's no real good answer because it's only been 3 years. So to see the economic impact that you could attribute specifically to the Kings is going to be marginal. But it's, again, what do you make of the opportunity that you have presented to you? So as a community, we now have a Wood Bat Prospect League baseball team in our town. We can choose to just have a Wood Bat Prospect League in our town, baseball team in our town, or we can promote the heck out of that thing and use it. So, for instance, has there been a lot of development that's occurred in that area? No. But what you have seen is maybe a more frequent use of the ballpark.
Oh, for sure.
More traffic at the ballpark. You've seen upgrades made to the facility that wouldn't otherwise have been made. Those upgrades will be helpful as Wittenberg and other groups choose and look to bring tournaments to our community. There are now more amenities at the ballpark just as a result. I mean, we've got a $250,000 scoreboard, state-of-the-art, with video that the Chamber was very involved in working to work with the team on to build and get ready for the end of the first season. And those are all amenities that stay with the ballpark, that stay with the community. So how do you put a lot of value to that? I don't know. Have there been any businesses that have located here as a direct result? No. But one of the great examples of how the ownership change has impacted is the prior ownership made the decision to bring in some of their own outside food vending, for instance, to the ballpark. Great food, affordable prices, great quality. Changes in ownership have resulted now in more local businesses now participating in the Kings, whether that's Fence or some of the other businesses in our community. I mean, you can get ice cream now. We had Young's last year. We have Fence this year. We're keeping things more local as you get local ownership. So there is a direct impact to the business community. And then the other thing I would say is, in my world, what I do on a daily basis is I work with our existing businesses to help them grow, whether that's to develop their workforce or develop our talent better with our partners. We do that. But one of the other things that we do is I travel a lot, and I talk to companies about locating in Clark County in Springfield. And when we have those conversations, years ago it used to be about, well, what land do you have? What will you give me to come to your town? What incentives are there? And those conversations are still there. But more and more today, it's quality of life conversations. What do you do for my employees when they're not working? Because today companies are locating in communities where their employees want to live, not where the company wants to locate and then they'll find employees. It's the other way around. So that's all about quality of life. And we have a great quality of life in this town. We're very affordable living. Lots of things to do regardless of what various generations say. There are lots of activities. But now we can add to that plate a Prospect League baseball team. That just adds to that quality of life component. It gives one more option to that employee, one more option to that resident, one more option to that family who now doesn't have to necessarily drive down to Dayton to see the Dragons play. They can stay in their backyard and watch the Kings play. Not to say you shouldn't go see the Dragons play because they're great, but the Kings are here and it's an affordable family night. So that adds to our ability, my ability specifically, when we're working with our business community and we're working with them to try to stay here or to grow here. This is just one more reason why Springfield's such a great place.
And I think the Kings have helped about that. I think we've had a good conversation about it. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Kings, about the Chamber of Greater Springfield? If you want to plug anything, now's the time to do it.
No, I mean, when's this airing again?
Right. Well, it's
like right now?
Well, yeah, it'll just be on whenever it's on.
All right. Well, we'll have some good announcements coming up pretty soon since I can't really say it tonight. But if it was coming out tomorrow, I can make even more announcements. But we're very proud of our Chamber of Commerce. Works very strongly with our business community. Great members, great partners in the community. This is an incredible time for Springfield and Clark County. We've had a lot of ups and downs in our past, but I think one of the biggest ups we've had in the last half dozen years or so is this team and the buzz that it's created. So again, I would like to encourage everybody out there that's listening, that's been to a game, come back again, bring all your friends. If you haven't been to a game, you need to get out there because you're missing something really special.
Yeah, I would love to pick your brain more just about other economic things, but this is King's Talk, so we're going to go ahead and cut the interview short. Thank you so much for joining us, Horton Hobbs, Vice President of Economic Development at the Chamber of Greater Springfield. Wow, I almost messed that up. So thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be right back on Champion City King's Talk.
Laguna Creek Real Estate is a local company committed to the foundations of experience, teamwork, and excellence. Laguna Creek has realtors that know the area because they live in the area, and they're waiting to help you. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, call 937-342-9995 or visit LagunaCreek.com. Charlene and Donovan and their great team of realtors can't wait to help.
This pizza is great.
I know, Bada Bing always hits the spot, and this craft beer just seals the deal.
How do I order more?
Well, you can come to the store on Fountain Avenue downtown or call 937-390-1300. And if you mention that you heard about them on King's Talk, they'll give you some of their delicious garlic knots for free.
Wow, looks like I'll be spending a big part of the summer at Bada Bing Pizzeria.
Bada Bing Pizzeria, the best beer in Ohio and the greatest pizza on the planet. Dr. Paul Shaner has had 44 years of dental experience and has been a role model for the community of Springfield since 1972. serving the dental needs of all ages, from grandparents to grandchildren. Call 937-390-8740 or visit the office at 251 Hampton Place, just off North Limestone. And from Dr. Shaner himself, go Kings! True Chat is a media podcast network powered by real Americans with honest opinions on a mission to create responsible media. Our content is free, available anytime and anywhere through the True Chat app. True Chat is redefining what media can and should be. Listen to daily shows on sports and politics and weekly shows on life, entertainment, business, and culture. We won't join the media elite because we're setting a new standard, a higher standard, the True Chat standard. Take a listen. Whitaker Pharmacy has been serving the Springfield community for over 105 years. With 3 convenient locations on East Main Street, Lagunda Avenue, and South Limestone Street, your prescription needs are a short drive away. Whitaker also offers $3.95 prescription plans, free home delivery, and loyalty rewards and gift cards. So stop in store or check them out online at whitrx.com. Whitaker Pharmacy, the service and convenience you deserve.
And a big welcome back to Kings Talk. And we want to preview the upcoming, it's not a road trip, not a homestand. It's a little bit of a mixture of both. 4 home games coming up, 2 road games coming up before our next Kings Talk over this next week. They'll be back in action tomorrow at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. It's still expect to see you there. Another $2 Tuesday against Butler. Butler's had our number this year. Have we beat Butler this year? Beat them once. Yep, just beat Butler once in, I believe, 4 games. So trying to get revenge on Butler, best hitting team in the league. See if they can do that on Tuesday. Then on Wednesday, cross-division matchup against the Danville Dans, who've caught fire recently, 3 straight wins. That's at Carlton-Davidson Stadium. And then Champion City will travel to Lafayette and then travel to Terre Haute for 1 game in division against Lafayette and then an out-of-game division against Terre Haute. Terre Haute then turns around, heads back to Champion City for a weekend homestand as they travel to Carlton-Davidson Stadium. The Rex play the Kings, and then Danville plays the Kings at the Davidson Stadium before our next Kings Talk on Monday. What do the Kings need out of this? They need to win every game. I mean, there's no other way around it. Will they? Probably not. They need to win every game. They need to start hitting the baseball. I can't say it any other way. They need to win more games. They need to play winning baseball. The only way to play winning baseball is to hit the baseball. But there's a lot of games upcoming at the stadium. A lot of fun. Make sure you check out ChampionCityKings.com for any promotion material. I really hope to see you out there. If you see me, just wave. I'm there. Just wave. Hey, how you doing? And I'll be happy to wave back. If you guys have social media, make sure you follow me on there at @MoreLukas on Twitter, Lucas Moore on Instagram. Follow me there, check me out, and all those things like that. But Champion City upcoming 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, 2 games at home. Then we'll have our next Kings Talk. What we're hoping for is 6 straight wins. If you can pull off 6 straight wins, now we're talking, because then you're 11-11. You're right back into it, unless Butler makes a run. Champion City, you got to have a good week. They got to start hitting a baseball. But there's still good impact on the city. Still having a good vibes around the team. It's positive. Be positive moving forward. Cheer on your Champion City Kings. Thank you so much for listening to Kings Talk. I'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening to Ladunda Creek Real Estate's Kings Talk, brought to you by Ladunda Creek Real Estate. Go to ladundacreek.com for all your real estate needs. Kings Talk is also presented by True Chat Inc., Dr. Paul Shaner, Bada Bing Pizza, and Whitaker's Pharmacy.